Have you guys ever had the feeling of being surprised by being unsurprised? If you have, that's the closest thing to the feeling and the thoughts that I had coming out of the movie Arrival. So, this is Denis Villeneuve's sci-fi thriller. I guess you could call it epic, but it is a little more contained. It's got Amy Adams, it's got Forrest Whitaker, it's got Jeremy Renner, it's got some really great stars. All three of them are great in this movie. And essentially what it boils down to is aliens come to Earth, we don't know why they're here, can't communicate, gotta figure it out. Or we might be in some serious shit. Think Day the Earth Stood Still, I think is the best way to describe this movie. But it has a few surprises along the way, and it is first and foremost a sci-fi movie. And this movie focuses on the exploration of language as a science and a method of communication. And it plays with your mind on what that language could mean for not only us, them, but our future as well. Look, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I loved Amy Adams in this movie. I thought her acting was great. I loved Jeremy Renner in this movie. I thought his acting was great. Forrest Whitaker kind of showed up. His acting was fine, just not a lot of parts for him. So he was serviceable, but not really a standing shine out. This movie is weird. I'm not gonna lie. We've seen the main premise of this movie at the end. We've seen this movie 2 years ago. I'm not going to tell you which movie it is, but when you make that comparison and when you realize that its end plot and end design, its goal, if you will, for the movie, its MacGuffin and its emotional attachment, getting you invested in this film, is exactly the same as the other one, when you realize that, it kind of holds the movie down a little bit for you. And I'm not going to lie, the trailers for this movie looked incredible. I was really invested in this idea of aliens coming here, and are we the bad guys? Are they the bad guys? Let's figure it out. And I thought that would be a really cool thriller. This is the guy who made Prisoners, and I really, really loved that movie, and I was kind of hoping for more of that vibe in this film. What we got was very hardcore sci-fi with a little bit of thriller elements, and the end scene, the climax of the movie, it is exactly the same as the movie that I'm comparing to. The exact same, especially in its design. It's a fine movie, but again, when you make that comparison, it holds it back a little bit for you. So what I'm going to tell you is this. This isn't a movie to run out and see immediately as much as I thought it would have been.
You shall not pass!
And that is a little depressing for me to say. I really, really wanted this movie to be excellent. And it's good. It's a great movie, not an excellent one. I give it a 7. It's not the best thing we're going to be seeing probably this year, and it's not the best thing that you've probably seen already this year. It's merely there, and I think this week, if you're going to go see this movie, is not a bad time to see it. But again, if you were thinking about it, I'd say wait until you get a chance to rent it later. And then you can really take the time it takes to get this full movie's impact and whole reason for being. Because it messes with you, especially at the end of the movie. Alright guys, I want to do a spoiler review on this later. Believe me, there's a lot to talk about in this movie. And I don't want to give away its problems, because if I do really talk about them, it's going to ruin the movie for you. And I do think that it is a movie still worth seeing. So stay tuned for a spoiler review coming later. Not sure exactly when that'll be, but it will be later, and I promise you it's coming. Look for it sometime around the beginning to mid-early next week. Alright guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you later.